Caught you dancing, Mark.
I can't help it. It's such a catchy little tune.
Dude, Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year, Jim.
Welcome back.
It's exciting.
It's
we have so much in store for 2025. I can't wait.
So much. I can't wait, but I'm also like, oh my God, because there's a lot to do, Mark. But it's all good stuff, right? And welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us again on Self-Publishing Insiders. I'm one of your hosts here. I'm Jim Azevedo. I lead marketing and corporate communications, and my buddy and colleague Mark Leslie Lefebvre is here too.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to share some exciting stuff that we have in the works for you, as well as just the beginning of some analytics of our 2024 sales data.
Yeah, I was thinking, Mark, and our buddy Nick Thacker is going to join us here pretty soon. But I was thinking, what better way to start this conversation today than, what I wanted to ask you, but I also want to ask our viewers. Share with us some of your proud moments from 2024. Like, did you publish a book? Did you complete a book? Did you begin a book? You want to break the ice, Mark? Like, what are some of your proudest moments? And it doesn't have to be book industry specific if you don't like.
No, I mean, some of the proud moments are, I did release several new books last year, and I was thrilled because, and this is an interesting stat I've been paying attention to from our perspective, is just the growth of print, because a lot of indie authors think it's all about ebooks all the time. And one of the books I released just closer to Christmas was a kind of a stocking stuffer style book, and I did a lot of in-person sales last year where use D2D print, get the print book ready as author copies, and then selling them myself at various venues. And my print sales have continued to grow dramatically. I mean, my ebook sales are growing, but the print book sales are growing. And I mean, let's be honest, as we hear in our friend Kevin Tumlinson's voice at the end in the little ad that read, there's nothing like holding a print book in your hand, especially your own print book.
Well, Mark, what would you say to those authors, though? Because I know authors who are like, yeah, but my print sales, I've done print books in the past, and I'm just not that excited about them because my ebook sales are like 10 to 1 or 25 to 1 or even more than that. What would you say to those authors who might be skeptical when it comes to like POD books?
Well, the thing is our system allows you to make a print-on-demand book with basically no upfront costs, right? I mean, you can load your Word document. If you've got your front cover for your ebook ready to go, we'll make it for you. And in 2025, we're going to be adding other formats. I think, Jim, we're allowed to say this, but with the most requested format to make it easier for our awesome authors is to be able to get your books into large print. And think about this. My mom, when I worked for Kobo, I had access to any ebook in the world, and every ebook is automatically a large print book. My mom, avid reader her entire life, got to an age where she needed large print, refused to read ebooks, was still wanting large print books as well. So creating large print books is
sounds like my mom. We should get them together.
Yeah, it's going to help us help authors get more books in more people's hands, because there are some people who want to read large print but refuse to read on a device. And again, most readers still read print, not ebooks. We're weird in the indie author community because we're very digital first. We forget the fact that the whole rest of the world hasn't yet. Still only about 20% of readers have adopted ebook reading into their lives.
Yeah, digital ebooks and audiobooks, and it's still the majority of people out there prefer print books. It's so interesting. I was going to
say, Jeff, congratulations! That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Woo! Congrats.
Fantastic.
And anybody else out there, if you want to drop into the comments any of your accomplishments from 2024, it doesn't have to be about just books. We're here to celebrate you, the indie author community.
I got married in 2024. That was kind of exciting, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and if you're a friend of Mark's on Facebook, he kind of brought us all along with him, and all the awesome pictures that you had in New York City. And that was really neat. That was really neat.
Awesome.
So we've been quite busy here at Draft2Digital, and as our community knows, that we may even share this too much, Mark, but we talk about the migration and what's been going on between Draft2Digital and Smashwords since March of 2022. And, I don't feel like I can give enough kudos to our engineers and to our development team for all of the hard work that they're putting in behind the scenes. All that stuff's not sexy. But just the sheer amount of work that they're doing to take, those hundreds of thousands of Smashwords accounts, bring them over into the Draft2Digital platform without dropping any books, with making sure that all of those books are still for sale at all of those storefronts, at all of those libraries globally, is no small feat, while at the same time ensuring that we're still, making the tools and maintaining the tools and making sure everything is running ship shape. As of today, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but we're like approaching 85 to 90% of all of those migrations being complete. And why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because when that's all finished or nearly complete, there's always going to be like a couple little straggler type of accounts that might be a little bit more complex.
Guilty.
But once that's all complete,
I'm an early Smashwords
thanks,
author.
Mark.
I've got weird
titles. Fingers. But once we're so excited about that, because then we can free up the development time to make the cool publishing and distribution tools. That'll free up developers on the Draft2Digital side, but it'll also free up the developers on the Smashwords side, so that we can focus Smashwords on being the best indie bookstore for self-published authors on the planet. That's our goal.
No, I love that. I love that. That is so. Again, so much of the focus has been moving the best of the publishing to the publishing platform, and then we can focus on also making that retail store. Because one of the things I know Megan Span, who oversees author promotions, is so excited is what more can we do with our own store to feature more of our authors and give authors who's never had a chance to be featured. And that's one of Megan's goals as well. Yeah, bring up that question, because I think this is a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kanashi says, asks a question. Whoops, actually, that was the first question that Kanashi asked. Can we bring that one? Sorry, because I saw that one earlier. I'm going to scroll up. Here, I'll pop it up.
I missed it.
That's okay. What is the page or word limit on large print? So there's no in POD, there's no word limit. It's going to be a page limit for sure. So for example, I think 115,000 words would not be an issue. And I don't know the number exactly, but we'll probably, Kanashi, potentially email our customer service to get this actual answer. And we may not have the answer right away for you, but it's somewhere in the realm of 600 to 700 pages is the maximum we could go with the print book based on the partner that we're working with. However, and this is, I just thought of this now as Kanashi asked this great question, what if it's a really, really big book? I think we need to talk to Toby and the development team in terms of, if it's a big book, do we help them split it into two? So it could be volume 1 and volume 2. That may be something. So that's something. I'm one of the early testers of these platforms. I'm going to see if I can break the systems by what happens if my book, when it goes into large print, right? Because what happens is the trim size will probably be larger to accommodate that. Can I show you an example? This is one of my traditionally published books. Please do. So this is a traditionally published book, and it's 6 by 9-ish, and then this is the large print version. You'll notice it's more like 11/8, something like that, some larger version of the book. And so that accommodates you to allow to have the print larger without necessarily increasing your page count by 30% or something like that. But that's a great question, and I'm pretty sure the dev team guys have already thought about this. They'll probably be able to answer that for you, but I'm pretty sure it's about.
We're still early. I'm sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to step on your toes. No, we're still kind of early with this. We know it's coming this year, but we don't have a date yet. But
thanks, Lexi.
Oh.
Lexi popped up that the maximum for print is 740 pages. So that would be the same for large print, right? So
cool. Thanks, Lexi.
Stuff. Great question, though.
Did we also want to get the second part of Kanashi's question here?
Yeah, sorry. I forget. Yeah, thank you. All right.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks, Kanashi. He also asks, do we have to change the format italics as bold to meet large print formatting standards?
Oh, that's right. That's one of the standards, that they don't use italics, they use bold instead. That's a great question, and we don't know. Oh my goodness, guess who just showed up in the studio?
Backers here. Yeah, thanks for the question, Kanashi. We just don't know yet, but hold that. And as we get closer to announcing large spread,
I'm making a note so we can ask the development team about that, because again, I'm sure someone like Alyssa on our team is going to go into the standards and making sure that we follow standards, because she's really good at making sure everything meets some sort of standard with us.
Right. Welcome, Nick Thacker.
How's it going? Hopefully you guys can hear me, see me okay. I almost didn't make it in.
Suddenly, the whole podcast just got way more attractive for some reason. I'm not sure how that happened.
Oh, is there someone behind me? It must be. Good to see you guys. Sorry for being late there.
No worries. For those of you who don't know Nick Thacker, Nick runs our author success division at Draft2Digital, which includes the new bookcovers.com and author email. So thanks for being here, Nick. We appreciate it. When we first kicked off, Nick, we're glad that you're here, but I asked Mark and our viewers if they had anything exciting they wanted to share, anything that they were particularly proud of from 2024, whether it's a new book launch or completing a manuscript, anything like that. Anything like that you want to share? Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'll go with probably a unpredictable direction here. I could say, bookcovers.com, I'm so excited for the imminent launch, but I'm not going to say that because I have a feeling that might come up later. I am proud of my very first sweet hockey romance that I published last year.
Oh,
it was a dare, of course. My hockey team found out that I was an author, and like most, dares that happen in locker rooms, I had to say yes. So I wrote a sweet hockey romance, and it was actually really fun. I'm going to make that part of what I do. Yeah.
Nice. Is your image gracing the cover? Like, are you busting out of your jersey?
Of course. Yeah, of course. No, not at all. I wanted to sell a copy or two, so I figured, no, I need to be as far away from the cover as possible.
I thought you would have written a savory hockey romance, with poutine and stuff like that.
I heard you Canadians eat your French fries weird, but I did a little bit of research and actually threw up, so I had to stop doing that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and here we go. So we covered a bit of the migration, Nick, right before you joined. We were talking about the Smashwords to Draft2Digital migration and where we are at that. Another thing I wanted to mention, since we were kind of talking about sales, Mark, earlier, is what's going on. And we were talking about the Smashwords store, but I want to really kind of put a pin in what's happening with the Smashwords store. I mean, even before we put all of our resources into the Smashwords store, even before the Smashwords store gets a facelift and becomes more modernized, our store just keeps growing and growing and growing year over year. So for those of you who don't know this, industry-wide, when it comes to ebook sales tend to be rather kind of anemic industry-wide, or basically kind of flat. But ebook sales at the Smashwords store have been growing year over year for the past 7 years, and we just completed our 8th consecutive year of sales growth. And I just learned 2024 sales at the Smashwords store grew 20% over 2023 sales at the Smashwords store.
It's incredible. Yeah, double-digit growth again, right? Like it's been wow, it's been amazing. So should I share some other sales data? Do we want to see it? I've been looking at 2024 sales data. And I know we share a big data drop with the Alliance of Independent Authors, and I'm going through millions and millions of rows of data looking at sales from across the board. And I have just a few sales. So just a couple things. As most authors know, I'm just going to pop this one up right here. This slide shows series books in 2024 versus non-series books. So imagine that series books are, almost 72% of the sales that we've seen. Now that's series for both fiction and nonfiction, although the primary driver here is fiction for series books. So that's relatively consistent. It's usually between 70 and 75%. The other thing that I've been fascinated to see is we've seen the growth of library platforms, and we've seen the growth of subscription services, Everend, Kobo Plus. And so the high level numbers for retail. So retail, 62% roughly of our sales. Library sales are now up to 22.5, almost 23% of our sales. Subscription sales continuing to grow. And then the other one is wholesale. That's the blue one. And wholesale is really because we've just added so many print books from our authors, and so the print sales, which weren't really there a few years ago, are now starting to dominate and take that up. But yeah, the library sales are still like they started to really take off in 2020, and they're still growing, which is fantastic.
I understand that Hoopla is really just going with their sales right now.
Yeah, and
you think that has anything to do with the promotions that you and Megan are doing with Hoopla?
I know that the promotions Megan has done with Hoopla and some of our other partners as well. We were chatting with Overdrive yesterday, and we're setting up those meetings to get more promotions with them. And yeah, those promotions that we do with, because here's the thing, is unlike retailers that have limited spaces and stuff like that to present to retailers, when we do a library promotion, almost everyone who participates can be involved. Meaning, instead of just 300 titles that get selected for a promo, you can have 3,000 titles. And then what happens is the libraries will take that data from Overdrive and go, oh, I'm only looking for this kind of book. And then they slice and dice it into a much smaller thing. And then they buy from there. So those library promos, I can see our libraries are going to just going to continue to grow in 2025. I'm so thrilled about that.
That's awesome. Did you have any other sales data that you wanted to share?
Let's again. We'll be sharing, as you do in your newsletter. You'll be sharing the top sellers of the month. But we're also going to be doing a major feature on our blog post in the next few weeks of the top selling titles for 2024 from our indie authors. And right now, I just have a sneak peek. It's the top 5 top selling indie author titles from 2004, from left to right. So starting with Erica Wilde and this box set of hers, and Sarah Denzel's The Handmaid, the 5-time rejected and Lichen King, Rachel Hanna, the Seaglass Summer, and Shot Taker, Piper Lawson. This looks almost like a kind of a book that Nick might have been writing recently. So those are our top 5. Top 5 indie author titles for 2024. So we'll probably be sharing.
Yeah, you found all 5 of my pen names, Mark. That's
all of your pen names, right? Well, come on, Piper's just not too far from where I am here. So, but that's really
some of those books have been on the list for a long time. That's really
I mean, I recognize the titles because I run these reports every week, and I look at them every week. I'm like, oh, of course this came up because I kept seeing it in the weekly reports. So pretty exciting times. And we will be publishing a print bestseller list as well, because we have so many print titles now. And we can actually share some of that sales data just to celebrate those D2D print authors as well.
Excellent. Yeah. And, you mentioned it kind of in passing about our author newsletter. So for some of you who may not know, one of the things that I'm proud of is that kind of in later 2024, we launched the Indie Advantage. It's Draft2Digital's author newsletter that goes out once a month now. And what we're trying to do there is just remind our community of all of the awesome publishing and distribution tools that you have at your fingertips that can help you reach more readers. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but every time we go to conferences, we have authors that we talk to who say, I didn't even know you guys did that, or I didn't know you had this tool. We're like, we've had that tool since like 2010. Like, come on. So it's just a way of reminding authors. And we kicked it off in October. The first 3 issues focus, because we talked about print and how important print is, the first 3 issues of the Indie Advantage focused on print on demand. Issue number 1 was all about the virtues of print on demand and how awesome it is for indie authors to have access to being able to easily publish and distribute print on demand titles. The second issue, which came out in November, focused on kind of learning the ropes of print on demand, because print on demand is a different beast than ebooks, but we felt that a lot of authors treated print on demand books exactly the same as they treated ebooks. So we wanted to clear up some of those misunderstandings. Issue number 3, is this right? Yeah, issue number 3 is coming up soon. I think I got my dates wrong as far as when we started launching these. I think issue 1 came out in November, issue 2 came out in December. Issue 3 is coming soon, and issue 3 is going to be all about marketing and strategy for your print on demand titles. But in that newsletter, we're also going to, as Mark mentioned, we're going to talk about, or we're going to list out the bestseller lists for the top selling print titles as well as the top selling ebook titles. So we are stoked about that.
Layla has a question I think we should pop up. Is it okay to address that? Because I love this question.
Please.
Can I just jump in and brag on you guys a little bit too? This whole indie author advantage, like we've needed to do this for a long time. And I have to say, you know, we all get bombarded by emails every day. We get like, I get Bed Bath & Beyond email. I don't even think that's a business anymore. They like, you know, but so it's, I know, I get it. I understand how annoying it can be to get all these emails, but guys, this one is so well written. I happen to know that the guy writing it is very good looking and a great writer as well. But it's such a well written and well crafted newsletter. It really is a great way to just keep your thumb on the pulse of the entire industry in, you know, less than an hour a month. And I mean, it's thorough. It's very, very good. I've been really enjoying reading it. I hope if you guys aren't getting it, if you're watching this and listening and you're not getting it, you don't know what we're talking about, go to the website, figure out how to sign up for our emails. We're not going to spam you with a bunch of junk you don't need. This is a really great way as an author to stay focused on what's important in the industry, because that's all we do all day is focus.
And I think based on some authors I was talking to, Nick, that it probably went into their junk folder or it went into some other folder and they didn't see it, because I forwarded it to an author who I knew would have received it and said, "Oh, by the way, you were the #1 seller in November." It's like there's your book cover in the email, and like, oh, I didn't notice it because I went into the promotions tab or something in Gmail. So double check for that. Just in your inbox, search for Indie Author Advantage, and then you might see the backlist ones that you hadn't noticed before.
I wouldn't say a love-hate relationship. It's more like a hate relationship with Gmail. Honestly, because they're like kind of unilaterally making decisions for how email is sent and received, and I don't like it. Point is, we're sending this through Author Email, which if you haven't heard of, is the company that I built and ran and sold to Draft2Digital. It's why I'm here. It is an indie author email service provider like MailChimp, but it's far more affordable. Anyway, all these emails are going out through Author Email, so I know for a fact that we're getting the emails delivered. But yes, if you're not seeing it and you think you should, go to Gmail, and even if you search, you may not find it. You have to type in ;anywhere Draft2Digital or Indie Advantage, and then it might show up, because Gmail is so good at hiding things from us that we want.
And Belinda asked this question: where do I sign up for this? So I believe it's in your Draft2Digital dashboard. You go over to your account settings, right? And you can say, "Send me." It's in there? It's in one of those one of those spots. Is that correct?
I believe so. Correct us if we're wrong, Lexi, if you're listening on that. But I believe that is in your dashboard. And if you still can't find it, our support team can help you out with that as well.
Okay. Yeah. And Lexi did say you should be getting it automatically. If not, be sure to check your settings in accounts. Awesome.
There was a question. Did you say from Layla, Mark?
Yeah, so Layla, I'm going to pop that up right now. So Layla Rose asks and says, given the spicy nature, there are a lot of romance and erotic titles that sell on the Smashwords store. Given the spicy nature of the Smashwords books, might we ever see a bestseller list for erotica, or maybe even erotica focused? Tell you what I'm going to do for you, Layla. I'm going to split out erotic titles, and I'm probably going to have two lists. I'm going to have one that's mainstream erotica, and then there are some other erotic titles that maybe push the boundaries or push the envelope a little bit further than some readers are comfortable with as well. So we'd probably have to do something like that in the list. Yeah, I can pull out those best-selling erotica titles from 2024. And again, it won't just be from the Smashwords store. It would be from Smashwords plus any of the retailers that we distribute to that also sell erotica, because I mean, what some of our retailer partners call mainstream erotica would be stuff that is very, very spicy and exciting and enticing, but maybe not, maybe has a little bit more plot to it as well. So it's not as what is it, blue, or whatever the terminology is.
Yeah, I appreciate that question, Layla. And to answer the second part of the question about an erotica focus site sale in 2025 at the Smashwords store, that's something that we've been talking about for a couple of years now, but given everything else that had been going on, it was just another one of those things that, we have to get this other stuff done first.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that we are talking about it for 2025. Can I 100% confirm that it's going to happen in 2025? No, but I think it's finally kind of leaning that way. Like, I anticipate it happening, but I can't confirm that just
we'll have
yet.
More headspace, right? To do things to the Smashwords store in 2025 with the merger finally getting completed.
Yeah, and it's something that I know Mark Coker, Smashwords founder, really wants to do. So we've got a direct line into him, and hopefully we can make it happen for you this year.
And so Guillaume will be very happy. Guillaume has a lot of the taboo erotica.
Yes.
So we'll be all over that like a cheap suit, as my uncle used to say.
Right. I'm going to shift gears a little bit and put the spotlight back on Thacker for a bit. Because Nick, you mentioned a little earlier about things that that we're excited about, and appreciate the kudos on the Indie Author newsletter. But kudos right back to you, because you kind of took over a whole company. Like, we made this acquisition of self-pub book covers, and everyone's like, okay, here you go, Nick, run with it. And now you're revamping self-pub book covers, which was this awesome marketplace for book covers that was created 10 years ago. And now you're in charge of just completely revamping it, refreshing it, modernizing it. And like you mentioned briefly, it's imminently going to be relaunched here pretty soon. What's going on with book covers?
Yeah, thanks for asking. We acquired selfpubbookcovers.com. If you go there, it's still live, it still works, barely, and that's kind of the problem. We acquired this great company, started and run by great people, and it's very small in terms of it's one person running the show, and so it wasn't overwhelming for me to take that over because of that. However, the website hadn't been updated and kept secure and all that for the 13 now 14 years that it's been in existence, and so we decided right away, hey, this just needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. Which ironically, I had actually done this long before the Draft2Digital era was a twinkle in my eye. I was building author email, and another thing I was working on was a pre-made book cover design marketplace. And this company was the only one out there doing anything like it. And for reasons, I ended up not doing that. So when our leaders came down and said, hey, we would love for you to run with this, I was like, hey, I'm actually the perfect person for this, because I've got experience doing this sort of thing. And long ago, I was a graphic designer, so I understand the artist perspective as well. Of course, I'm an author too. So that's what this is. And what we're trying to rebuild is nothing to replace how great the company was. It was a marketplace for all these artists and authors. We want to bring all them over to this new platform and say, hey, this is the same but different. This is just better. It's the same idea. You get to set your price for book covers that you've designed. Our authors can come in and get a great cover image that they can put text on and alter and change however they want, as many times as they want. Purchase the cover and use that on their ebooks. And of course, we've got a service where you can pay to have a print cover done based on that design. And it all works really well. We're in the final push here, which is making sure our migration of those two entities, the authors and the artists, work well, because we're going to leave them behind. We have to migrate 60,000 existing covers and purchases over. There's going to be some things that aren't going to work exactly the same, obviously, because it's a new system. But the idea is to make everything easier and better, so that authors and artists both can come, meet, and get what they want, get what they need. So artists get paid every time an author buys their cover. It's just a great platform. It's really, really cool. I'm so excited for it to come out. And I don't think we're doing ourselves a disservice by saying right now that launch date is February 11th. We're looking at February 11th as being our go live. Everything's been migrated, tested, running, fixed, because inevitably things break. When you hey, everything's working great, let's press the button, and then things break, right? So we're hoping that February 11th everything is done and we can launch that. And so you all will probably hear about that. Like I said, if you're an Indie Author Advantage newsletter receiver, at some point after that, we will talk about it and point back to it as well. But anyway, it's going to be a great, fantastic marketplace. Very, very excited. That has pretty much consumed me last year, though.
Yeah, well, as it should. You had a lot on your plate, and that's something that we know that our authors are going to love, because they love the old site. So looking forward to the new site. I know that there's a lot of excitement out there, and you dove into it, as you should have. I'm also looking forward to that date. Your marketing guy might push back on you a little bit about the February 11th date, but we're gonna try for that. And then we'll probably also do some webinar type stuff, Nick and I, and maybe even Mark as well, to walk everybody through bookcovers.com to show you what it is, to let you know how you can purchase a book cover design, how to work with the cover designer. And also for cover designers, we want you to see how it all works for you as well, because we want to attract as many cover designers onto the platform too. That's possible. Yeah, gosh. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention here. One of the things I'm also proud of, and I can't believe it's been almost a year already, uh, a partnership that we signed last year was with Fable, Fable, the social reading app and book club app. So I just talked to one of them yesterday. We were trading a couple of emails back. So check this out. For those of you who are already on Draft2Digital's platform, but maybe you haven't had your books distributed over to Fable yet. When we announced the agreement with Fable, they had, let me check my numbers here. Where did it go? When we announced the partnership with Fable in April of last year, they were at that time working with 25,000 book clubs that had over 650,000 active members on their social reading app. As of today, they now have over 65,000 active book clubs and almost 2 million members. So Fable, the social reading app and book club app, is just, it is blowing up. Download the app. I highly encourage you to download the app, especially if you're trying to kind of recover from, you name the social media platform. It's like the nicest social media platform you can ever imagine. Is all these like-minded people just talking about books and their favorite genres and their favorite authors. It's really, really cool. And one of the reasons why we got that partnership moving so quickly last year was because the representatives from Fable were like, "You guys, look, our readers are clamoring for indie books. They want to have more indie books." And one of the reasons for that, which they told us, was that a lot of their members, especially the members who are hosting the largest book clubs on the site, some of these book clubs are up into the thousands, and in some cases, tens of thousands of members at these book clubs. They include like some of the most popular figures on BookTop and Bookstagram and BookTube. And they want to be the ones who kind of discover those next breakout indie books, those next authors that are emerging or that haven't broken into the mainstream yet. So just once again, super proud of that Fable partnership. And if you don't have your books distributed to Fable just yet, highly recommend you doing so.
A couple things to know about
Question
Fable.
mark.
They're only purchasable in the US right now so far, says the Canadian. And also I saw a comment from Guillaume about Fable. So Guillaume, you had mentioned you published Taboo Erotica. So they do not accept, they accept romance and fiction and stuff like that, but they do not go as far as the Smashwords store goes in terms of their accepting of the heat levels of erotica as well. So that may be why you're not seeing your stuff getting to Fable as well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. May I bring up this question here from Belinda? This one. Hi, Belinda. Thank you for your question. She says, I was just wondering if Smashwords and Draft2Digital are the same company. It looks like Amazon, but wide. Am I correct?
Oh my God, available in more countries around the world than Amazon, by the way, the Smashwords store. But go ahead, Jim. Answer that question.
Sure. So I'll give you a little bit of a history. So Smashwords got its start way back in 2008 as a publishing platform, self-published authors that focused on ebooks. It was a pioneer. It kind of helped to democratize the publishing industry by being one of the first to allow authors to self-publish in ebooks and have those ebooks distributed globally. Draft2Digital came along 4 years after in 2012 and just completely modernized everything that Smashwords did, made it better, faster, easier than Smashwords, and grew really, really quickly. So quickly, in fact, that in 2022, Draft2Digital acquired Smashwords. So yes, we are the same company now, and it's been fantastic. I got my start at Smashwords back in 2011, joined the team back in 2022, and you've never seen a smoother transition culturally between two companies. It has been awesome. So to answer the second part of your question, yes, if you heard the term going wide, like how do you go wide, that's what Draft2Digital and Smashwords are all about, getting your books distribute it out as far and wide as you possibly can to help you increase your readership and visibility. So while I think at the Amazon store reaches into maybe 17 countries now, with dedicated ebook stores, the Smashwords store itself gets visits from about 180 countries and territories. Apple Books, the world's second largest ebook retailer, goes into 51 countries. Kobo, which is a smaller retail store that we distribute into, but it has this huge international footprint. Kobo reaches into about 180 countries and territories too. So it's just, our platform is a way for you to get your books out as far and wide as possible.
Right. Retailers, libraries around the world. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. All right. I'm going through my list of stuff. Talked about the Indie Advantage news stuff. Talked about the Indie Advantage newsletter. We talked about Smashwords sales growth, the Fable partnership. I can't believe that we also announced the print-proof shipping options. That was last year. I felt like that was 2 years ago, but that gave our authors much more flexibility when it comes to ordering print-proof copies.
But to be fair, I feel like last year was 2 years ago, so
it was a long year.
It's reasonable, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on, right? We did a lot of different, a lot of behind-the-scenes development work, as Nick knows from all the self-pub book covers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you see the other question from Kanashi about print? Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, the question is, book covers got me thinking about large print again. Will we have to get another cover made for the larger size or just resize what we have? Well, guess what? We're in the business of making your life easier, having to do less work. If you've got the front cover for your regular ebook, we can take that and make you the special large print full wrap cover, just like we do with the regular book as well. So you don't have to spend more paying for more cover design. We can take care of that for you. And I know Toby and the team are working on that with Alyssa to make the design as beautiful as possible. And so when we roll out large print, you'll have that option.
Perfect. And Mark, one thing I wanted to ask you too, on your large print, the one that you showed earlier from your traditional publisher, is there a stamp on there that's that's emblazoned on your cover that says large print edition?
Yeah, this has a little thing on it, and we know we had that conversation I think earlier in the week when we were talking about we're going to have various options for where on the cover an author can have the little logo placed that says clearly this is large print. But of course, in our metadata to the retailers, to our partner, which sends it to the retailers, we'll also have that indicator that it's a large print title, just to make sure customers are getting the right book. That's the most important thing.
Okay. Good. Let's see. I want to make sure I haven't missed any questions here. It's fun talking to you guys, but I want to make sure we get
answer questions from the good folks that are here. Let me see.
Saw something pop up and then go away real quick.
Okay. Well, here's one. There's a question from Denise who says, is it possible to upload my AI narrated audiobooks to D2D? We do not distribute audiobooks. However, we have a partnership with Findaway Voices that will accept AI narrated audiobooks for certain platforms. And we do have a partnership with Apple Books who will generate for free for you an AI narrated audiobook for Apple. So yes and no. We do not distribute audiobooks, but we have partners that can help you with that.
I will say one of the things that I've tested as an author, and I'm in the comments on YouTube over there. I think it's Nick Thacker Books is me. One thing I tested last year quite a bit, and will be continuing to do this year, is AI-generated audiobooks distributed on YouTube. It's a great way to, once you get your channel monetized, and without getting into too many of the details, you have to have a certain number of watch hours, I think it's 1,000 subscribers. You can take advantage of advertising payments. So when somebody advertises on YouTube, YouTube will give you a cut of those ads that run on your videos. And so I have had a lot of success, hundreds of dollars a month generally, just with uploading a few of these AI-generated audiobooks that, again, they're not exclusive, so I can send them out anywhere they're accepted. And YouTube is one of those places. So if you're not thinking of that, who asked the question, Denise, if you're not thinking about that or haven't done that, that would be I would start there, just because it's not going to hurt you in the future. Once a store allows AI narrated audiobooks, you can still use it for that store. So, don't.
And Google Play Books Partner Center allows you, when you upload your ebook, can convert it into an AI generated audiobook for you to sell on Google Play, but they let you take it and then you could just upload it to YouTube like Nick says. So see, we're helping you out with all your wide publishing, not just through Draft2Digital, because we care about you.
We also have answers to life, happiness, and the meaning of the universe. So we'll just go all day.
That's it. Yes, we will. I think Lexi already addressed this question, but I want to bring it up anyway because others might have it. Lori asks, I write G to PG books. Any platforms that specialize in more family-friendly books? Nothing against the Steam, she says, with a smiley face.
All of them. They're family-friendly. So, yeah. I mean, I think I think most of the main retailers have that as well as I know sometimes libraries are always looking for, Nick was talking about the sweet hockey romance. So knowing that romance is going to have the sport and it's going to have romance, but it's going to have closed door, right? Maybe some kissing and stuff like that. It's a little bit sweeter, holding hands, closed doors.
Necking, as my grandpa used to say.
Yeah.
I don't know that any that specialize in family friendly, because I think that's what Laura's asking is, hey, is there a particular site? I would wonder if the only ones I can't think of any specific ones, but the only ones generally I can think of are like a Christian bookstore. But I don't know of any that are just online bookstores focused on that. And I don't know that your books are Christian, if that if that may not be. I wrote a Sweet Hockey Romance. It's decidedly not a Christian book, right? So I don't know. I think that is a challenge, because when we're looking for romance, we'll often find, the gamut of whatever the spiciness ceiling is on that platform, all the way, down to G or PG. I learned, again, as a well-respected romance author of one book, I discovered that we use little chili peppers to determine how spicy. Just put right there in the description, a little chili pepper. I couldn't figure out how to do a half chili pepper. I needed 1/2 chili pepper, so I have one whole chili pepper in mine.
But they all have, all of the retailers and libraries and subscription platforms that we distribute to, they all have specialized sections for our family-friendly books. So just ensure that your books and that your metadata are categorized appropriately. For that kind of stuff.
All right.
This is kind of funny. Just want to bring up this quick comment from Linda French. She says, a friend described a clean romance as not the full orchestra, no sax or violins.
I love puns.
I have a music degree, and so I was about to get my actually face on when I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, it's a joke. I get it. I don't allow saxes anywhere near my orchestras. That's my rule.
So we're kind of coming to a close here. That was quick. All right, guys, I have to ask you, and our audience too, any New Year's resolutions you want to talk about? It can be about books. It cannot be about books. Let's hear it. We'll round out the episode with these. Let's see. All right, Mark, you first.
Well, I have a good number of books on my plate to get done. And so what I really need to do is probably double down on my early AM work before I get started on the other work that I do for Draft2Digital, etc. Getting up super early and trying to get more words out so I can actually stay on top of those projects. I have a lot of stuff that I need to get out this year. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. And the key thing, and this is a trick and a tip for authors, don't open your email, don't open your social media before you get those words done. Because the minute I open them up, I'm gone. I'm distracted. I'm a dog chasing a squirrel instead of getting my focus done.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Mark. How about you, Thacker?
Yeah, I mean, I spent last year obviously working, full time and then some on this book covers project and keeping author email going and all the other Draft2Digital tasks. That's great. I love that. It's a great place to be. But I'm also an author. And so I'm like, I really would love to do exactly what Mark said and stop chasing squirrels and figure out how can I really get some of these thrillers that I've got in the head down onto the page. So that's a really wishy-washy resolution because I'm not a resolution guy. Usually come like March 1st, I'm like, all right, what are my New Year's resolutions going to be? Like actually. But for now, that's kind of what I'm thinking, and it's got to formalize that somehow. But I'd love to figure out, here's one. I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'll be doing some conferences for Draft2Digital this year. And every time I go, I have high hopes of getting all this writing done on the airplane. I'm going to be that guy in the brewery getting all the writing done in between talking and giving speeches. And I never do. I just end up taking naps. And so I think that's really where I can direct my my productivity and motivation is, let me actually get some words written while I have this quote unquote downtime. That would be a great place to spend.
Breweries and getting work done don't really necessarily go hand in hand.
Hey, well, I'm a professional, okay? So, I can get that done anyway.
Yeah, but Nick, when I'm buying you another round, it's really hard to stay focused on your writing.
To be fair, usually when you're buying me rounds, I'm playing piano and you're singing.
That's usually what I'm talking about.
Come see us in person.
Take it easy.
Mark and Nick live February 8th here in Colorado Springs.
I'm going to show a comment from Beth now. Just kidding, guys. I love this, Beth. Beth says, I have a word of the year, authentic, for my books, newsletter, and Pinterest account.
Love that. Love that.
Amen to that. And then Laurie says, finishing my World War II fiction and short stories. So much research, but fun.
Awesome.
That's what I love about historical fiction authors. I'm like, when do you know that you can kind of stop the research and just get back into the writing? They're like, I don't know, because the research is so much fun. Yeah, appreciate that. Well, you guys, thanks for joining. Both Mark and Nick, to round out this episode. Really, really appreciate your insight and all the work that you guys have done this past year. It's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
A lot of beer, a lot of naps.
A lot more good times.
Yeah.
A lot more stuff coming up in 2025. So rest up, Nick. Rest up, Mark.
Do my best.
For those of you out there, we want to thank you again for joining us week in and week out in 2024. We hope that you'll join us again this year. Another thing that really helps us out is when you share, comment, and subscribe to these episodes, because it helps us to get the word out and to attract new guests and experts to visit us week in and week out. And if you bookmark D2D Live, you can see what episodes are upcoming, what topics we're going to be talking about, and who our guests are going to be. And as a matter of fact, next week, we're going to talk about predictions for 2025. We're going to welcome Mark Coker, the CEO of Smashwords, who for many, many years, every year he would do his top predictions. And he was pretty accurate most of the time on those things. So Mark's going to be on that. We're going to also welcome Joanna Penn from the Creative Penn podcast, and Dale Roberts. A lot of you probably know Dale Roberts from his super popular YouTube channel of all about self-publishing. So check that out, D2D Live. And if you're new here, welcome to our community. If you've never self-published a book before, you can sign up for a free Draft2Digital account simply by going to draft2digital.com. Once again, we want to thank you guys.
These things. So normally, guys, if you are new, this is far more professional most weeks, but then they invited me in last minute to this one. So I had to bring it down a little bit just to have a little more fun. Sorry.
And didn't Mark Coker predict that Nick Thacker would write a sweet hockey romance one day? I think that was in one of his predictions a few years ago. Yeah.
So funny. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to lose it here. I appreciate it. We will catch you next week. Until then, take care. I'll see you guys backstage. We'll have some
have a good one.
M&Ms, some tacos. See you soon.
Ebooks are great, but there's just something about having your words in print. Something you can hold in your hands, put on a shelf, sign for a reader. That's why we created D2D Print, a print-on-demand service that was built for you. We have free, beautiful templates to give your book a pro look, and we can even convert your ebook cover into a full wraparound cover for print. So many options for you and your books. And you can get started right now at draft2digital.com.